Hello guys, you all must be doing very well. Rahul Loria this side. In this video, I believe we need to discuss about how the computer architecture design a computer programmer should see. This is very important. Like while writing the program, we should understand how that computer system is there, right? So we can understand it and we can write our code in a much effective manner. And as a result, we can become highly effective software development engineers. So in this video, we are going to understand how the architecture of a computer system is. The first primary question is why it is important to understand this thing. Understanding this thing is really important because if we know the system layout and the architecture, writing a solution for a problem become really easy for us. So in order to write the program in first go at the required level, it's very important to understand how the system architecture is there at the server end or at your mobile end or at your desktop end or at your laptop end, right? Every machine have similar kind of architecture if you work as a software development engineer. Primarily as a software engineer, there are a lot of components inside a computer system, but as a software development engineer, you should know about these three components. The core component is CPU. CPU helps the system to process the data, to convert the information from one form to another form. The second important thing is the secondary memory or the RAM. So RAM helps the CPU to access the secondary memory faster. We will come to the secondary memory just in a second, but this is very important, RAM. So RAM is the second component. As a software development engineer, you should understand that there is a RAM, and then there is a secondary storage or your hard drive where you persist some information and you store it for some amount of time, or even you turn off your system, you turn off your program, you can always store that information in the secondary storage or inside your hard drive. But RAM is there in between. So if CPU is doing the processing and secondary storage is storing the information, so why there is a RAM in between? So the thing is, let us say hypothetically, your access speed of accessing the data through the RAM is 50 Mbps, whereas in case of secondary memory, it is just 10 Mbps. And this CPU works very fast. So it needs that data as fast as possible in order to give the output to the user in faster way. So there is a need to have a faster accessing system. So why don't we have only memory in the system? No secondary memory, because this is faster also, right? This RAM is very costly. So we cannot have lot of memory. We cannot have 2 TB of RAM as we have in case of secondary storage. We have 2 TB of secondary storage. Usually our memory is 16 GB, 8 GB only because the cost of this RAM is very high. So we cannot, so instead of having a RAM which is persisting each and every information, we have a secondary storage which is cheaper as compared to the RAM. So we have the secondary storage to persist the information, but there the speed is lesser, but we don't want CPU to suffer from the lesser speed of secondary storage. So we have RAM in between. But as a programmer, you should know any variable which you create while writing your code, like you have created a variable int, float or character or a string or an array or an object, any kind of variable which you are creating, that is created inside your RAM. So as your program terminate or you terminate your system, or programmer is not running anymore, so whatever variables you have created, that information is gone. Now if the second time if you need, so you need to recreate those variable, or if you are doing some computation and storing it inside some variable, you need to perform entire computation again and store it inside the variable so you can show to the user. But doing the same computation each and every time is not good, right? So we want to store this information. So where we can store this information? We can store it inside the secondary hard drive, which is persistent. But how we can store the data inside the secondary storage? So there are two ways you can store the data inside your secondary storage. Either you can create a file inside the secondary storage, or you can have a database management system. Database management system. So database management system also stores the data inside files only, but it gives you some interface which have better data management capabilities. So files is a way, and database management is highly effective way to persist your data and to access the information in, like, you can do lot of logical computation and different things while you are using a database. We will talk about it in some next video, but for now you should know, if you want to persist any data inside your system, inside your program, by your program, that time you need to store it inside a file or inside a database, right? So the variables which you are creating while writing your program, those variables will not be persisted by the system. Only the things which you are storing inside a database or inside a file will be persisted. As if you terminate your program, your program crashes, or your system, you turn off your system, or something happens, right? This program is no more executing, and you want to remember something. You always need to use a database or a file. So this was the basic architecture of a computer system which a software development engineer should know. There is a CPU for computation, there is a RAM to faster access of secondary storage system, and it is not persistent and it's very expensive. The third thing is your hard drive, which persists the data, and it can, like, even you turn off the system, it persists your data forever until unless you delete that data, or something bad happens to that hardware, it crashes or things like that, right? Otherwise it will persist your data till the life of it, the device, right? So three things: CPU, RAM, and the secondary storage. So I believe you like this video. If you like this video, please feel free to share anyone who may like such content, and it really motivates me if you share this content with other developers, and it motivates me to create more videos similar to it for you. Thank you guys. Thank you very much to watching the video till the end.